get him or not, I didn't want Timo. I would go back to this Romero thing. By the way, big up Eugene. Good to see you, my man. I think.
How's my sound now? Right? I think it's better now.
I mean, Dave, hang on a sec. Dave said he's got to go in a sec. So, what do you think of this? If we get Tammy Abraham, can you really take it serious with getting in a striker like that, saying that he's going to be our main man? Because we ain't going to get two strikers up there.
Yeah, no, I've just got to shoot off at one, so I've got 20 minutes or so.
Oh, right. Yeah, 5. So go on.
No, I've got 20 minutes or so. As I said, I don't mind Tammy Abraham coming in if he's our third choice, but we've already got that in Richarlison in my mind. I still think we need two better than Richarlison. And as I say, I want one proven Premier League ready striker, and I think Tony ticks those boxes. And I think, Stel, you mentioned a few shows back that we've done, Jonathan David as well. I think it was you. Sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth there, but Jonathan David's another one that I like the look of. He's also got that Xerxes I think he's Bologna. He's someone that plays
Jonathan
across the
Davids, is he the Canada man? The one from
yeah,
Canada?
Yeah, and I think he can also play across the front three as well. And we got to think that if we're buying players for Angie's profile, I think he likes players that can be flexible across that front three. But me personally, yeah, I think we need that one proper signing. And then I don't mind us buying someone that's got a bit of finishing to do, should we say, in terms of, excuse the pun, but sort of polishing, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You know, he's not quite the finished article, or he needs to prove to step up the level, because we're looking at that Santiago Gimenez. He's played in Holland, and obviously we had the Vincent Janssen thing, right? It's a bit of a hard league to come over and step up for. So I want us to buy. This is what I want. It's not what I expect to happen, but I want us to buy an Ivan Toney type. And I know Brian as well, that Gyökeres, who's gone to Sporting Lisbon from Coventry. He's obviously got the experience of playing in English football. I know obviously a level down. But I just want us to buy that top level. And then I don't mind if we go and buy, whether that's a youngster coming up or a Tammy Abraham as someone that's just, you know, can play the Carling Cup games, if you like. But again, then I don't really want to buy backup players. It's got to be competition, isn't it? So what you want, what you get is different with Tottenham. But I agree with you on a shout.
When you're willing to accept crap like this, you basically deserve what you get as a football club. Obviously, it's if it goes through and all that, but for me, it's just got Levy written all over it. Go on, Eugene. How you doing, mate?
Hi, guys. Got my sound back together. Big up, David. The first time I'll show you. How you doing, Stel? Dan, like what Stel said earlier, what's changed? Nothing's changed in the past 24 years. And I told Stel, right, I'm zen about all this shit that's been going on. The only thing is that I can say is congratulations, we've got our Tottenham back. Yay. Right. So we go through this every summer transfer window, January transfer window, right? We're linked to 3,000 players. Stel, whenever you do the show on Tottenham Way, right, you got that list, right? How many new names have you added onto it now?
Yeah, I know.
You know?
We're
yeah, you got that list,
strong.
right? So the list keeps growing. So come on, we've been here before. But the only thing that I've seen is that the past 2 transfer windows or 3 transfer windows, we've been doing our business early, right? And this season, we have done our business early, right, guys? We've signed Timo Werner back on loan. Yeehaw!
Okay. I'll go to quickly what Sean says here again, because I think he makes a fair point on this one. Dan, that's still, with all due respect, you want Levy to be like Chelsea. Never said that. They spend madly and look at where it's led them to. We finished above them, and we'll finish ahead of them again this season too. If I remember rightly, we was nearly 14 points in front of them, and we only cleared them by 2 points at the end of the season. If there would have been another 2 games, they would have overtook us. But there wasn't. You can say that, whatever, and we finished above Chelsea. But I don't think there was much to be proud of, considering how shit they were at the start of the season. And look how we ended up. And with that aspect, no, I don't want him coming out and spending like 1 billion on this and that. But I want our manager, our owner, to have a bit of fucking ambition, wants to win something, willing to take that risk on getting that star player in when we've got the money to do it. No, I don't want him going out there spending 1 billion in one go and totally fucking up the whole club. But you can't say he hasn't got the money to spend it. He's had the managers to do the job with, and he has brought 1 trophy in 24 years. If you can accept that, mate, do you know what? Fair play to you. Have a happy life and everything, but enjoy what you get at Spurs. Nothing. I just can't accept that shit anymore.
Dan, can I respond to that second?
Sure you can. I mean, it's a
You bring
good
it
point.
back up
Mate,
because
yeah.
No, it's not. It's not a good point. You can say that. I'm not going to say that. First of all, Chelsea is the most successful club in English football in the last 22 years. Do I want to be like them? Fuck yeah. Absolutely, I want that success. Do you? I doubt you do because you think profits is glory, not trophies. Secondly, Chelsea got to a cup final and a semi-final. We didn't even get close to winning a trophy. Not even close. Just because Chelsea have badly spent in the last 2 years, don't ignore the way they spent the previous 20 years, which was outstanding. And the value they generated from selling off players as well. Excellent again. The last 4 years of Roman Abramovich, they were self-sustainable. They were a self-sufficient football club. So, and they won trophies. We've been self-sustainable for 24 years and won what? Then you want to talk about we will finish above them next season. Is that a trophy? Is that success? Is that how you deem success, finishing above Chelsea? Do they live rent-free in your head? I want to be like Liverpool and I want to be like Arsenal. Not nation state, not owned by oil, but well-run and trophies are lifted. Stan Kroenke's been in charge of Arsenal for 5-6 years, like outright owner, the majority owner, full control. And in that time, he's won an FA Cup and he's got them on the brink of winning a league title, and they drop £100 million on top-class players. He's done that in 5 years. Daniel Levy's had decades. So by all means, keep looking at everything that we're not doing from the negative and ignore all the positives out there, because you can't handle the fact that we have such a strong argument now. And this is what happens. I think what you should do, Sean, is debate me whenever you're ready.
Can I add to that? Can I add to that? Right. I don't give a shit what we spend or don't spend, right? I just want to win things. Simple as that. It doesn't matter how much we spend. We are not financiers. We are football fans. I don't understand why all of a sudden nowadays, right? We have to calculate how many pennies can we save before we can buy this player, how many balls that we have to rub before we can get somebody. Just go out and do the fucking job, right? Have a good recruitment plan. Get good recruitment people to do the good recruitment. We've been spending money ourselves, but we've been buying shit, right?
Can I ask everyone here? I want to ask you and everyone here. So I don't interrupt you, but I just need to say this, right? I want you to answer first because you were talking. I don't want to steal your thunder, but why do you guys feel that Spurs recruitment is so shambolic? Like, we've changed academy directors, we've changed football directors, we've changed recruitment officers. We've just now replaced the head of recruitment in the academy. Another change, right? We keep changing. Why do you feel that Spurs can't just go out and say, right, we've just signed 5 Van der Vens or 5 Adogis, or, we can just, that was a really good bit of business. That was a really good window. We can't really, one didn't turn out too good, but out of the 6 you signed, 5 of them, well done, Tom. Well done. Why can we never do that as a club? What do you think the issue is there? Because Eugene's right. We are spending money. We are.
Yeah, we are spending money. Okay, the part is like, I've spoken to Stel about this before because he's a coach. He gave me 5 points, right, to recruit players and all that, right? But then when I asked him, I'm sorry, David, sorry, he's a coach as well, right? Stel gave me 5 points. We did the show a month ago back. But I asked Stel one very question. Who does that psychological profile, understanding the player, right? We need someone like a good HR person, right, that goes up and hunt down that good worker. You understand? Who has loyalty, who has that mental strength. But we don't do that. We buy a bunch of shit. And what that Stel says, I know why we buy, right, 8-9 players at one time, because we're hedging. Daniel Levy hedges. He takes the players as stock, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. He takes them as that. You can say that as an investment. That's the problem. He doesn't buy players as for football use. He buys players as an investment tool. Hopefully, in the future, we make some money out of them. But then it falls, and then it backfires on him when the players comes in as shit. And Ndombele, for example, you can't get rid of him. Like I said, we need someone in the recruitment team which have that proper scouting ability, right? Not just the stats, the hoo-ha and the show. Find somebody who can actually spot this part here, who has the mental strength, who has the brains,
Yeah, but
who
you
has the
see,
intelligence. That's the thing.
Richarlison wasn't an investment for the future. Maddison wasn't an investment for the future with high resale money. I think we bought them because we genuinely thought they were going to change the game for us.
But they were shit.
Some you're right, like an Adogi, a Vicario, buy them young, potentially upsell. Sell them at a high price. But the players we signed that we spent a fair bit of money on them, and they just.
To tell the truth, right?
Look,
my thoughts on Richarlison is right. It's a Ponzi scheme kind of thing. You get it? Not that time. Everton needed the money. Spurs was very close. I mean, Levy was very close to who? Ken Bates, was it? They were having dinner or something. They were negotiating something over it, and all of a sudden we signed Richarlison. Yay!
Look,
yeah.
I don't even like doing shows talking about Levy because I'm sick of his fucking name. But the problem is with this one, we hear all the good stuff and we're meant to all jump up and say, yeah, the club looks like it's going in the right direction. But then the other stuff shows up, which you could definitely say Tammy Abraham is quite a negative signing, in my opinion. You're meant to keep your fucking mouth shut. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't just agree just for the sake of agreeing and keeping people happy. But then I do understand people have their own opinion. I mean, Dave, with this one with Romero, again, for me, it's got Spurs written all over it.
Yeah, I mean,
how many times has this happened now? I mean, what? Carrick, Modric, Walker, Bale, Kane in the end.
Yeah, stepping stone club. Just to come back to Eugene on the Ndombele one, I think it was Martin Lipton, who's like a European football journalist. I think it was him. Could be wrong. But I was listening to Talkball just before we signed Ndombele, and he was talking about how brilliant a technical player he was. But some of the big clubs have been put off by his attitude problems. We went out and made him our club's highest player, highest transfer fee in history, right? And we had those rumours that he was a bad egg in terms of personality. So it's a bit of a weird one for Spurs, isn't it? Because when we do spend big, we tend to get it wrong. And it's like one of those, well, why don't Levy spend money? Well, when we do, we usually get it wrong. So that's why we go down the kind of Brighton approach, data analysis, get these youngsters and try and turn them into the Gareth Bales, the Dele Allis of the world. So it's one of those, we kind of fall in between the two, don't we? Because you look at Man City, Pep Guardiola, he's in charge of what comes through at that club, right? And most successful clubs have that manager that's leading that transfer policy. And in these sort of in-between clubs, the Brightons of the world, Brentford's, they do a good job of it as well. They kind of do that data analysis where we try and get those cheaper deals, sell them at a profit. And we kind of sit between the two and don't do either properly. And I think we feel that sometimes we just need to commit to one and then give it a good couple of years. I think our transfer recruits have got a little bit better in the last couple of years, but we've still got too many mistakes in there as well. But going back to your question about the Romero one, I don't see him going this summer. I'm fairly confident we'll keep him this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes at the end of that. What would it be? His third at the end of next season, his third or fourth season? But I think I can see him going then, same as Mickey van der Ven, if we don't start winning stuff, right? And we've always been that
contract
way.
Goes to 27, I think. 2027, I think his contract goes to Romero, I think.
And I don't think any of us are arrogant enough to sit there and think that we can keep hold of any player when the big Real Madrids, Barcelonas come knocking. It's when they start leaving because we're not winning stuff and we're not looking like we're going to win stuff. And that, you look at Kyle Walker when he went, you could argue that he's gone to a better club and won things, right? It's an easy argument to win. Of course he did. He went to Man City and won loads of trophies in that.
I think everyone except Kane has, isn't they?
Yeah, well, no, Gareth Bale obviously went and 5 Champions Leagues later. You know what I mean? You can sit there and go, okay, I can see why you.
If I give you a quick stat, Luka Modric, since he left Spurs, won 29 trophies, which is 5 Tottenham's entire history.
Do you know what? Fair play to the man. And you know what? I had a little chuckle as you just mentioned his name. Because I tell you what, if I was the manager right now, I'd sit there and go and get Luka Modric in for next season on a free. Not to play 90 minutes every game of the season. But you know that sort of thing we have when we can't break down the final third. We've got 20, 30 minutes to go. Bring on Modric, just to sit there and pick that little passing that we need, but also that mentality style of that 29 trophies that you just mentioned in that dressing room, right? Sitting there getting players training properly, getting them with the right mentality. But yeah, so the Romero one, I'm not too
five because all his stories and all the things.
Yeah.
To lead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I see that as well. But you know, just as a sort of left wing one there, you know, the Modric on a free transfer. I know he goes against our policy of buying young for the future, but I would have him.
I mean, he's about 38 now, and I wouldn't say no to him. I think he's one of the most underrated players ever on this planet.
I know people. Yeah, amazing.
I mean,
class, mate. He's a class football player. That's what you call class. That is what. That's what it is.
That is world class. Yeah, that is a real modern day.
It's also proof, and this is why Levy keeps doing it. He's also proof that buying those sort of unearthed gems for cheaper money and selling them on is why Levy still does that. The Dele Allis of the world, you know, that's what Gareth Bales of the world, you know, that's why he goes out and does this, because he's seen it work in the past, and he's seen spending 65 million on Ndombele doesn't always guarantee it. You could even argue that Richarlison at 60 mil, you know, it's not really been that successful, is it? So he's sitting there going, yeah, that's not really working. I'd rather go and spend 5 to 10 mil and hope that it comes off, because then if it doesn't come off, a bit like what Eugene says, it's like spreading your bets, and that's ultimately what he does for a living, right? That's how he made his money, was investing, and that's what he's trying to do there. And you can't argue that he hasn't been successful at times. What we're arguing is that it's not been successful enough, because obviously we haven't got the silverware to back it up, and he's been burnt with the big signing. So I can see why he's doing it, but I don't agree with it. I'm with you. I want to go out and spend 40, 50 mil on the Tony when we can't sell him on for that in the future, because I know for the next couple of years we've got a Premier League proven striker in the squad, which is what we need.
The thing is, though, the way we spend big money is idiotic. Daniel Levy's an idiot, because he's culpable for all of this, and I'll explain why. You spend 65 million on Ndombele for Pochettino. Pochettino played front-footed attacking football, right? Ndombele in the midfield, Poch system. Pochettino 2 months later. You fucking moron. You absolute idiot. You spend 65 million for a manager who you then sack. And to make it even worse, all right, let's bring in another attacking manager to suit these players we've signed. Who did we bring in? Mourinho. Ultra defensive, ultra pragmatic, low block. Oh, well, this is never, isn't it, Levy? You sign players for one manager, and only do you sack that manager after spending all that money, you then bring in a manager with a completely different ethos of playing football with the players you've just signed for the previous manager. Pow! It's all on Levy. As for Richarlison, there's not one fan out there with a football brain that said, yeah, we want Richarlison as our striker. Please sign Richarlison for Tottenham Hotspur. From Klinsmann, Sheringham, Berbatov, Defoe, Keane, Kane, Son. Please sign Richarlison. That fits what we're used to. That was idiotic from the club. And then Lo Celso. We only signed him because we didn't want to pay the extra 10 million to get Bruno Fernandes. He wasn't the first choice. And again, who's he signed for? Pochettino. What did we do? Sat Pochettino. This is all leading back to, I can link it all to the chairman. His decisions directly impact the first team. The first team tries to do one thing, and then leaves it. You can't deny what I'm saying here. Even Davinson Sanchez, who the fuck is he? 42 million. Mourinho said when he came to Spurs, when Man United beat them in the cup final, I was the manager of Man United, me, Mourinho. We targeted Sanchez because he was the weak link. Tottenham come along. Yeah, we'll have him. 42 million. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Mate,
and then our
I have tried.
Excuse. Look how badly we are at signing players, Dan. Look how badly we are at spending big money. No. Look at what the chairman does that impacts these signings. Look at that. Sorry, I had to go on there.
That's fine. I have tried so hard to be positive on shows. I really have, even down to the point where I think we can sign Eze and we can sign Tony, and okay, other ones there's a possibility not. But then when I see ones like Tammy Abraham come up, and I look at history now, yeah, people say history's in the past. What does it fucking matter? Well, history is basically part of a CV. If I'm employing someone, I want your history. I want your CV. If I'm looking at a football club, I'm looking at what they're doing now, but then to see how big they've also been in history, whatever, and that history does come into things. And if we want to go by fact and history, Romero going Real Madrid and Tammy Abraham coming Spurs, another Chelsea fucking throwback, by the way, it's got history written all over it. How can I take things fucking serious here when all of a sudden it just goes from one side to another side? But the stuff you seem to believe, I seem to believe more. is the negative side, because it's all I've seen for 24 years. Oh, a great moment here or there. I mean, what I can honestly see happening with Romero, yeah, we might not lose in this season. You might be right, Dave. No. If Real Madrid are serious about this, he's gone. I'll give you my reason why. He's not as much of a pussy as Harry Kane is. Now, don't get me wrong, Harry Kane, great man, but at the end of the day, he's a pussy. He should never have stepped foot on that Spurs ground again when Man City offered him. He'd already given the best part of his career to Spurs. I would never have held nothing against Kane. He was too much of a pussy to make the deal go through. That was what Harry Kane was. And Daniel Levy knew it. Now, if Romero is anything to go by, like you see him on the pitch, like you see him play international, like you see him play everything else, he's going to sit there and think, Tammy Abraham, okay. Brendan Johnson, okay. Timo Werner, yeah, great. Eze, goodbye, if we get him. He's going to sit there and think, this club ain't ever done nothing. It ain't going to fucking do anything. I want to win something. And then Levy says no to it. He's going to go up to Levy's room, knock on that door and say, oi, you prick, I'm off. I ain't ever stepping foot on this pitch again for Spurs. I ain't ever playing again for Spurs. So Levy turned around and say to him, well, you're not having your money. He turns around and says, why do I give a fuck? I'm a million anywhere, you dickhead. If you don't sell me now, my price will just go down and down and down and down. And because he won't step foot on the pitch, people will look at him and say, well, look at his attitude. You want 80 million, 70 million, 60 million. He's got the bottle to do that. That is how he comes across. I don't know, maybe he's as soft as a fairy off the pitch, but I don't think so. The only reason it didn't happen like that with Harry Kane is because he didn't have the bare bollocks to go and do it himself. Romero looks like he has. And that is why I can see him gone.
Romero wasn't happy with Conte, right? He didn't turn up. Simple as that. Right. But
yeah, there is there's a little extra thing with Romero. I think his wife's just giving birth, or she's pregnant again, and he's got a young baby.
I think they've just had twins.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I think we'll still get another year out of him. I totally agree with everything you just said there, Danny. If he wants to leave, he's one of those players that will start ruining training sessions and things like that, which is what players have to do to get out of clubs. But I just think he's personally happy at the moment to stay another year with us, or at least in London. Not necessarily Tottenham directly, but he happens to be at Tottenham, and therefore he's playing for us next season. But yeah, the Real Madrid one, I can see that happening. I do like Stell's comment.
Did we say that about Harry Kane though? He down tools under Nino. Oh, Kane's not going to leave. He's having a new baby, and he down tools. It's like,
yeah, he just didn't do it properly enough. I don't think he weren't that disruptful enough.
players. The thing with Merrick, he's Latino. Going to Spain suits his culture, suits the language. It's and also it's Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, come on, who doesn't want to go to Real Madrid, right? Right. But remember, Dan, when we were doing a show earlier, we were already saying, I was telling you, right, Romero is bye-bye, right? But just when is the time? So the only thing is that unless next season, right, we go on a blinder and win a cup or two, right, and show that we are showing ambition, then maybe we will get something out of it. If not, we'll be still stuck at this place. Simple as that.
I mean, on a serious basis, what do we actually have to offer Romero? What do we actually have to offer someone like that? I mean, the other thing I said as well, we go out getting fucking Timo Werners and keep getting Tammy Abrahams and keep going for these players that are not going to get us something now, which we are desperate for. Van der Ven will be gone in 2 years. He's got Bayern Munich written all over him the way he plays. He's got it written all over him. I know someone's going to say, yeah, but Bayern Munich didn't win it this year. Yeah, they just won it the 11 years before that. Trust me, Bayern Munich will come back with a fucking punch next season. Doji, another one. If he gets that bit better as he gets older, is he going to hang about for another 5-6 years for Spurs to possibly get it in target? I mean, how can anyone take?
Yeah, Dan as well. Ed M's comments as well. He's made a good point. I did think of, but it weren't my turn to speak. But also the Real Madrid Romero one, because of the signings, they've got them Mbappe and they want to get Alphonso Davies as well. But Ed M's made that comment, so I don't want to nick his thunder.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. The finances. I know, obviously, they've got limitless money because they are also technically a state-owned club, right? Their name's Royal Madrid, you know. But even
they are what makes Spain. They are part of what makes Spain survive.
Basically. Yeah, they've got government funding. That's why they've got rid of all their taxes, shall we say, hidden amongst the years. Be careful what I say. I don't want the Spanish law coming down on me there, but yeah, they've been able to be creative with their finances, shall we say. But even though they can't stretch to Romero this summer, I don't think, with Mbappe and potentially Alphonso Davies. I mean, but then you never know, right?
You can't put nothing past a club like that. That's just it.
The issue you've got is with Romero. I've said this in the past. You know when you're a good football player, who the good players are on your team, who the ones that aren't quite at it, right? You know. When you're good, you know. And Kane knew that for years. He just stayed loyal. Son is 1 in a million. He's like a Gerrard. He's just ultra
no one ever. Yeah, but no one ever went for Son. No one ever really went for him.
I think he's made it very clear that he's not leaving as well, though. I think that's, you know, something that puts a lot of clubs off. And you know what? Who the fuck wants to deal with Daniel Levy anyway, right? But I think Son, because of his background, discipline, loyalty, I think he's a very, very rare breed of player. Anyone else with his talent would have left ages ago. Because if you look at all the other players that have left us,
he's like a Gerrard, isn't he?
Yeah, I think with Gerrard though, because he was like Harry Kane, wasn't he? One of their own. Plus, he won stuff at Liverpool. It meant something to him. He was like their Kane. Son is different. It's a cultural son. It's part of the way he's been raised. But you look at any other player, they'll be gone. Like the reason Kyle Walker left is because he knew this isn't good enough, because he knew he was good. Same reason Modric left, Berbatov, Carrick, they all do the same. So you're right. Van de Ven, Romero, all these players, they'll be looking around thinking, I know I'm good. I know I'm good. I don't need to be told. I know I'm good. And when you look around and you don't see that same level, and each year it costs you, you've got no emotional attachment to Spurs. Spurs mean fuck all to you. It's like, you know what? You're a stepping stone. You go on the trophies with me, brilliant. I'll stay. But if you're not going to do that, because you're not going to sign those players that match my level, then you're a stepping stone. I don't need this. There's better out there for me. I know it. And they know it. Their agents know it.
The annoying thing about the Kyle Walker one.
Sorry, say again, Kyle Walker.
I was just going to add to the Kyle Walker one. The annoying one about that is when you look at when he went, the two teams, not necessarily the clubs, but the two teams weren't a million miles away like they are now. Like Man City are miles ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
Both as a football team. But when actually Kyle Walker went there, our first 11 at that point, it was one of the best first 11s never to win anything. When you look at that 11 that we had in that team, but why did he go? Because he knows where the club's going. He knew Man City were on the way up; they were only going to get better. Whereas he knew Tottenham were never going to
was on the way down
level. Exactly. Levi's happy to be in that sort of top 4, top 5 area, right? But he's not willing to commit to going to be number 1, which is where we as fans want to go, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, at that time that he went, it is true, mate. It is true. They weren't light years ahead of us at the time. They were just starting to get big sort of thing. And a lot of people could see where City were going. And again, it's just the same old thing of repeat, same fucking circle and repeat. And then people wonder why people go off on one when they read something. Oh, don't worry about it. It hasn't happened yet. Why are you getting so pissed off about something that will probably never happen? Why? Because I've seen it happen how many times?
Yeah,
and I've tried to be positive.
If you're just sitting there treading water, then around you've got the Newcastles of the world getting investment. They're going to be gradually overtaking us if they've not already done it. You could argue they had, right? Because they got Champions League more recently than we have, although we finished above them in the league last year. But you got Aston Villa.
Down to injuries.
Yeah, Aston Villa are a massive club. I'm quite a traditionalist, and Aston Villa are a massive club. They're European Cup winners, right? Historically, they've won leagues and things like that in this country. They've been a big club in this country, and I still think they are a big club. I know you've had this debate on here before, Dan, about whether Spurs are bigger or not.
At this moment in time, I believe Spurs are a bigger all-round club.
Probably market.
If you go by history, we haven't got a leg to stand on.
No, exactly.
But now, even Nottingham Forest outdo us.
Yeah, but now look at them. They're in the Champions League.
Trophy-wise, I think Everton, Villa are pretty equal.
Yeah. But more recently won the leagues, right? So Everton and Villa are both 80s, were they?
Yeah, and also Villa winning Champions Cup as well, which we.
Yeah. But my point is, if your aim is to sort of tread water in that top 4 area, that's where you want to be, then you're always going to get overtaken by these clubs that do then show the ambition. Like even Everton, I know they got their financial issues at the moment, but they're looking at being purchased at the moment by a new Saudi investment. So if that happens, then they're automatically a more attractive prospect than Tottenham, who are just happy to sit there and be in that top area, getting the profits, right? And a player will recognise that. They'll be more likely to get into a project that behind a club that want to invest over the next couple of years than they will, say, come to Spurs, where they kind of go, well, what Spurs won in the last 24 years? I was about to say last few years.
In the last 2 decades.
Yeah, exactly.
3 decades. 3 decades, I think we've been through.
What we can offer is a decent salary, a nice place to play football, nice place to go to work every day, and London, and I'm running out of things that we can sell ourselves on, because it certainly isn't trophies or like aiming for trophies.
We got a skywalk. We have the go-kart. That's attractive too.
Yeah, I think Pink's playing there this weekend, isn't she? Is it Pink?
We got Travis Scott coming, right?
Yeah, Travis Scott as well.
Yeah, which is all great. Like, we all laugh about it. I mean, it's great to get the finances like that. Well done,
Dan. The money is good. Yeah, I'm not going to look down on the money, right? But the thing is that how are we going to spend it? Right, we're going to spend it wisely, right? But to tell the truth, right? Getting angry, getting agitated, and getting poked at, being called negative, right? But to tell the truth, just being realistic is my main point, right? So for me at this moment now, this transfer window, while all these things that has been going on is great for content creators like us, right? We can go on and rant about it, do shows about it, right? Emergency podcasts, up and down, right? But in the end of the day, if all the players that Ange gets in and everything goes smoothly and we win something next season, then everything's hunky-dory again. But there's the big but there, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's like people seem to think that I do shows with other people and that because I want Spurs to do bad, so I can do a show and say, "I told you so."
No, we don't.
No, I want Timo Werner to score 20 fucking goals. I want this and that to happen. I want people to be able to tell me I was wrong. But I will say this straight as, if any fucking idiot out there wants to think that Timo Werner, and I don't usually say this sort of shit very often, yeah? Because as far as I'm concerned, anyone who thinks Timo Werner, who's going to come over here and bang in 20 goals, I mean, next time, as all I will say is just say no. Drugs are bad, okay?
You know, for Timo Werner,
going to fucking happen, yeah? Things, it ain't gonna happen.
No, for Timo Werner to bang in 20 goals, right? We need Stel to make a bet.
I'm never making a bet again in football on YouTube. I did it once, I got burnt, I learnt my lesson. Was that saying?
What's his name? Still owes me £100 for that goes to Great Ormond
Street. He asked me for your number. I gave it to him. He said he's going to pay you.
Yeah, he still didn't get in contact. Don't worry, I'll find it.
The thing, like, look, I'll only speak on my behalf in terms of how I feel about it all. The more and more the years go by, the more and more I just don't like this football club. Like, I hate the owners. I despise the board. I'm beginning to not like a lot of our fans because I'm sick to death of their mindset towards the club being so different. Mine are the difference. I can debate the difference, but I hate it. You could be a Tory and accept that there's socialists out there called Labour, but doesn't mean you have to like it, right? Or you could be Labour and understand that there's capitalists out there, doesn't mean you have to like it. And I just, the more and more the years go by, the more and more I just find the way we just accept this, it's the acceptance that I can't, because in all my years playing football,
that's what I said to you, innit? We are such an accepting fucking club.
I've never accepted failure. I've never accepted. I've lost many a time, but I've won a lot because I won't accept that loss. It's just, I can't live like that. And I just feel that this club, our families, and there's always an excuse, Dan, like, there's no guarantees to win trophies. You're right. So stop calling us a big club then. because big clubs win trophies. You can't have your whole cake and to eat it. If your excuse is going to be there's no guarantee of winning trophies, if that is going to be the line you go to every time, then you must also accept we're not a big club then. Because big clubs, whether you like it or not, they win trophies. Arsenal have been crap for 10, 12 years. They win
And won
trophies,
FA
man.
Cups. Look at what Man U just done. With probably the worst squad they have ever had since I've liked football, and they have just done a fucking FA Cup and League Cup, and they have got a shit manager, and they've got probably, like I said, the worst Man U team I've ever probably seen, and they still go and win a cup.
Hey guys, don't forget they've got a waterfall in their stadium. Right, we haven't had that yet. So I think Levy needs to put a waterfall in our stadium. Then the trophies will come. It changes the feng shui. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, if he could charge money for it, he would.
Yeah,
I know it, don't you?
The Hotspur fall.
I mean, yeah.
Just reminds me of that Only Fools episode when in the church, in it, the angel or whatever starts crying and Del Boy charges.
Oh yeah. I thought you were going to bring up Peckham Spring. I love Peckham Spring.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, Peckham Spring. Oh, I don't.
Levy is just that bad. He would dig through his own mother's grave to nick the wedding ring just to make another couple of quid. He's just that much of a sociopathic, narcissistic businessman. He don't give a fuck about the football.
Yeah.
When are people going to wake up and see it? But no, we are that accepting that no, Brennan Johnson can come good. No. Tammy Abraham, yeah, he done wicked 5 years ago. He probably ain't even going to run again the same way after he busted his knee the way he did. But no, don't worry, he might get good again. He might.
Yeah, people are giving a bit of the comment about don't big up Villa. Oh, Villa have got top four once in God knows how many years, but it's the ambition and it's the joint up thinking between the Aston Villa board and where they want to go and the manager they've hired and where he wants to go. And therefore the players...
I would have loved him at Spurs. I thought he was so underrated. Great manager.
It's all joined up. I, as an outsider, can see where Aston Villa wants
at Spurs as well. He'll flop at Spurs.
I can see where they want to go, and they are on a journey to try and get somewhere. Whereas Spurs, at the moment, we're still sitting there questioning whether our signings or our rumoured signings are Ange signings or Levy signings. There's still that ambiguity about it all, and it's all comes down to what Stel bangs on about is the fact that we don't want to win trophies, right? That's not our main aim as a club anymore. And us fans need to sit there and realise that. And I think I have over the course of the season still, because obviously we had the debate earlier in the season where I was trying to defend Daniel somewhat. But, you know, the penny's got to drop at some point. The fact is, if we're going for Tammy Abraham, it could be complete and utter journalistic nonsense. It could be. But the fact that we're debating it is because we know it could be true. And it could be
because
true.
It's got Spurs written all over it, innit? It has got Spursy in history.
We believe it. We believe the story.
Guys, to tell the truth, right? Don't look down at Villa, to tell the truth, right? They've built a very good squad now, right? And they're on the way up. And they've got a class manager that's won things before. Don't, like I said, don't underrate Unai Emery. You'll be surprised next season at what he can do, right? So, but what can we say? In the end of the day, we are stuck in this cycle again, right? We're going through this transfer window again, and a lot of Spurs are saying, "Why are we all panicking?" You know, is the transfer window hasn't opened yet. We can't sign.
We've already signed Werner, for fuck's sake. We've already done it.
Yeah, but the thing is that we are sitting down here, right, watching other clubs like Chelsea's like confirming Olise. And then, you got West Ham is getting some young guy from Brazil or Argentina.
It's just been confirmed.
Yeah, and we are just sitting here talking about Tammy Abraham. And then the worst part is that we are all jittering because, what if Real Madrid comes in for Romero, right? I already said Dragusin is there to cover him.
Do you know, guys? I'm calm at the moment because I'm just waiting to see what happens by the end of the window. But my fear is I don't see this massive big summer that we desperately need because we got fifth last year. It was an awful end to the season. We clearly can't cope when we have to rotate or we have injuries. We just can't cope. And next season we're playing 2 games a week. So it's going to get harder. So even if we improve the squad, we're still going to be where we are because we've got the additional challenge, more games. So we need.
Yeah, we need to improve just to stay where we are, right?
Yeah, it's like
that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, you're on the way to being like me, right? Being just zen about it, not just get angry about it. The only thing I'll get angry is the fans accepting this mediocre bullshit that we are stuck in, and the owners lying to us that we're a big club, right? We're part of the big six, apart from the finance and just one trophy in the past 16 years.
We're a big business. We're a big business.
Yes.
Top three business. Top three.
Oh yeah, businessman, one of the best in the world. Right, just to make a point here, Liam. I like Romero, but yeah, fuck me, he's one of the most overrated players in the world. Spurs fans say he's the best in the world. He's not even the best at Spurs. Right, opinionated, I'll give you that, yeah. And personally, I do think he gets bigged up a bit much at times. But to me, he is not world class, but he is the best defender at Spurs. The difference with it is, we would actually miss Van der Ven more than we would miss Romero, even though Romero is the better overall player. The reason we miss Van der Ven is because Ange is so one-minded that without Van der Ven, we would be screwed because he's had to come back and cover so many times where we're so high pushed up. We would actually, I think, miss Van der Ven more. But Romero, he's a World Cup winner, mate. He can control the ball. He gets stuck in. He's even got an all right pass on him. He's got a good head. He is a much better overall player than Van der Ven. Oh, shit, don't get me wrong. Van der Ven can run the 100 metres quicker than Kyle Walker. I'm over the moon. Van der Ven's been brilliant, but he's not better than Romero.
Are we going to get trophy?
I want to add,
it's opinion.
I want to add some context to this. Right, Liam,
okay.
I don't know if you've looked at this, but I have looked at it because I do a show I used to, it's not now because the season's over, every Thursday with Arsenal fans, we used to go at each other. And we had this argument, who's better, Gabriel, Saliba, Romero, Van der Ven, this big argument. So what we did was we put all the data for the season and we looked at headers 1, ground duels 1, tackles 1 where you don't go to ground, progressive forward passes, dribbling the ball out from the back, where they headed the ball, how many free kicks given away, all the metrics that you'd look at for a modern day centre half. Do you know who came top? Gabriel. Do you know who came second? Romero. Van der Ven came bottom. Now, in the system we play, Van der Ven looks like the best player at Spurs because of the system we play. We expose the defence so much, and like Dan said, he does 100 metres in 2 seconds. He constantly saves us, so he looks mustard. But as an actual ball-playing centre-half, Romero second best centre-back between Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal came second. So I get he does shit that pisses people off, and I get at times you think, oh, he's overhyped. But when you actually look at him and the data that backs him, he's a very, very, very good centre back. He's a very good centre back. Is he world class?
I just wouldn't say he's quite world class.
No, he's not world class. He's not.
But then what do you call world class these days? People tell me that Saka's world class, for God's sake. Very good player, but not world class for me. You know, the world class is just used way too easy now. Like I've said before and done on shows, go back to 95, 2000, 9 out of 10 players wouldn't even kiss the other one's boots back then. But that's where
world class is Maldini, Nesta of the world, right? That's that level of defender.
Yeah. He's not world class, but he's up there. The bracket below Romero is there, and the data backs it. I think do you know what it is? It's one of those. Take Romero out of Tottenham, put him at City, put him at Real Madrid. Everyone's going to be waxing lyrical. That's what's going to happen. It's because he's at Spurs.
Yeah, he's good enough to play for a world-class team, even though he's not world-class himself.
Yeah, and that'd probably take him up a level as well.
Perfectly said.
I mean, it's like, Liam, mate, we're all allowed our opinion. That's all we've done is give you an opinion, basically, and still put some facts down. I think he gets overrated at times as well when people say he's world-class and best defender on the planet. I've heard Spurs
to be fair to you, Dan, you have never once called him world-class, and I know that. You've always had that, but he's like a really good defender, but he's not world-class. And I'll defend you on that. You've always had that stance on him.
He is an excellent player, but just... maybe this is just where I'm getting too old for football these days or something. Yeah, what I call world class and what other people seem to call world class are just two total different things. I don't even think there's many world class players on the fucking planet at the moment.
And I won't get
Here's
you
the
started on Sonny.
let's not do this. We don't have a proper CDM, right? We don't have a proper CDM at the club. But yet, when we had Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Vicario, Dogi starting, we were actually defensively solid. If you look at all the games we played when those 5 started, I think we lost 1 or 2 games max all season with them. So clearly, when he's amongst players of a level, he's very good. Suddenly, if you put Ben Davies, Chicken Royale, I think any top player struggles. You know, look at Arsenal last season. Lieber got injured. Gabriel went to shit. They collapsed the year before. So I think good players, they can't just carry a team. They can raise their levels to a point, but they can't carry a team. You need, because it's 11-a-side football. It was 5-a-side. 5-a-side football, they can do it, but 11-a-side, I think.
Yeah, and I don't normally.
How good was he? We never got top 4 with him. Not once we got top 4 with Gareth Bale. So even he couldn't get us there on his own.
Yeah, I think Jamie Carragher, I mean, I don't like normally sticking up for him or backing him up, but I think he made a very good point on his overlap show the other day about a world-class centre-back. It was the one with Vieira that was on. What makes a world-class centre-back is one that makes the defenders around him better defenders as well. And I don't think Romero would be that world-class because, as you just said there, when he played with those lesser players, he didn't look amazing himself, right? And I think that's the ultimate judge of a world-class centre-back. You look at Van Dijk, he dragged the quality of defending up around the defenders around him up that level, and that's why he is considered world-class. And I don't think Romero's quite at that level. But I think he's as close to world-class without being world-class. I think he's right at that level.
He's on the borderline for me, basically, yeah. If he can get his temperament a bit better and also step up that extra 1 gear, you can say he's there.
Because and he's still got a few more years of growth. Like as a defender, obviously you develop that little.
How old actually is he? What? 27? 26?
24, 25.
Right, I thought he was a bit older. I don't think he was about 26.
26.
Mate,
quick Google.
Guys,
you're talking
about Romero, right?
And doesn't coach defending. He's not going to be world class at Spurs.
Hold on. You're talking about Romero, right?
Yeah.
Romero has won the World Cup with Argentina. So when he's with Argentina, he's world class. When he comes to Spurs, he's not world class. Simple as that.
No, he looked very good in Argentina's defence because Argentina have always had a poor defence.
Yeah, you understand.
9 times out of 10, it was always their defence that actually let them down, Argentina, when the rest of their squad was the bollocks. That's what kept them and Brazil apart, basically. It was always their defence that let them down.
And to tell the truth, right, if he's part of a World Cup winning team, right, and a regular part of it, he can be considered world class. That's how I see it. Right? But when you bring him back to Spurs,
do you honestly think he's world class, Eugene? Do you really think that?
For me, if you win the World Cup, you deserve it to be in that.
But what?
And
that's only 7 games, though. It's only 7 games. You got 7 games and you win the World Cup. Whereas if you win a Champions League, you've got to play something like 12, 14 games. You win a league title, 38 games. Isn't it better to judge a player?
But still, he's at Spurs. If you put him at Real Madrid, would you be calling him world class if they win everything?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't say Romero is not world class because he's at Spurs. Because what Spurs do? Nothing. We won't win shit.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you play for your country, you can win 6, 7 games in a tournament, and you've won the tournament. Whereas when you play for your club, especially in Europe, you've got to play the best across Europe over 12 games, and also, it's a better judge. Like you're judging someone over the course of a year as opposed to a 1-month period in a season. So
yes, but still, I come back to you. You understand what I'm saying? I come back to you again. He's at Spurs. If you put him in an M City team, you put him into a Real Madrid team, right? Yeah. Would he be world class? That's my question. But you put him at Spurs and you surround him with shit.
We think he would, but until he goes there, that's going to be that's when we know. Harry Kane, he's broken the record there. Shit. So as a striker,
he's still shit. He still hasn't won anything.
Is that on him? Okay, so you see how this argument can swing. So whether Romero goes to
No,
Real
no,
Madrid, Real
it
Madrid
swings. Yeah, it swings. It swings. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Okay then, Eugene? Is Harry Kane a world class striker?
I'll give it to him because he's won the Golden Boot before.
No, he's won fuck all.
No, he's won the Golden Boot in the World Cup before. I'm saying.
Well
He's
done.
won fuck all. Yeah.
Well done, Eugene. Well done. I'll give him a Blue Peter badge if he wants. He can stick it right there. Is he world class? Because the way you're saying it is you have to win something to be world class.
To tell the truth, not until he goes up with Bayern Munich and not just win the Bundesliga. He has to go and win at least the Champions League.
Okay.
Then maybe.
So you're saying the most complete best striker on the planet at the moment is not world class just because his team has not won something.
I'm not saying he's not world class. I'm saying he's world class because he's won the Golden Boot at the World Cup. For all you know, he might turn up brilliantly this Euros and he helped England wins the Euro. You understand? So, but the thing is that nowadays, right? Why are we, putting players into categories world class, not world class? I mean, shit or whatever, right? But in the end of the day, as I see it, right? If a player does well for his country, right? He has a certain kudos to be given on him. And if he does well for his club, because the club can change, but your country, you can't change. If you play for Argentina, you're fixed to play for Argentina for the rest of your life, unless you denounce your citizenship and go and play for Malaysia or something like that, right? I don't know.
But it's also the Ryan Giggs and Haaland kind of debate, isn't it? They're world-class players, but would never be considered world-class by the barometer. You've got to win something at national level, right?
Question, Gareth Bale, is he world-class?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Okay, Eugene, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo's won. I don't know, they won the Euros.
Yeah, they won the Euros.
He is. Hi, chaps. Thanks for letting me on.
Right, mate.
Hi, Dan. I'm at work, so that's why I haven't got my camera on, and I'm walking on wireless. So sorry about that. But
who's that? James?
What? He's on our channel.
Oh, Max, okay.
I'm so offended. Oh my God! I come on and slagging me off already. Right. I think you guys. I think you guys are being incredibly unfair on Romero. And your classifications of what world class is. I think obviously one of the problems of calling someone world class is it's not necessarily defined as a criterion of what you need to do to become world class. But Dan, I think the example that you raised with Kane, in my view, he would be classed as world class because he would get into most teams ahead of most others. Yeah, exactly.
He's a world class player.
Yeah, so there's very few players that can do that. So he's world class, despite his lack of trophies. But let's be honest, he's got Tottenham Hotspur syndrome, so we know what that means.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That is basically what I am saying.
Yeah, and Romero,
he hasn't got a trophy, he's world class.
Yeah, absolutely. And Romero, I think it's a bit too maybe early for him to compare him against players that have had, long distinguished careers, but he has won a World Cup. And how many quality central defenders really is there in Europe at the moment? 8, 10, maybe. Yeah,
he's up there. He's just, for me, he's just on that borderline. Basically, he's just
and that's where I agree. I think it's a bit early, isn't it?
Yeah, no one has slated him, but at this moment in time, he is not a world-class player for me. Give him another 2 years or whatever, he'll probably be up there with the top 5. But at this moment in time, does he walk into Man City's team?
You know what? That's a good question. I think if he was available, or had they bought him, he probably would be in contention. Because one of the problems we've got, especially being Spurs supporters, is that we're asking certain individuals to raise up the dross around them. Now, Kane didn't always do that, right? He performed really well, but there was also times where he was just anonymous in games, right? As well, right? So for me to ask Romero to when he's looking to his left and he's got Eric Dyer, to his left. Then he's looking to his right, and he's got Romero. Then he's looking a little bit further on. He's got Davies, and then he's got Clement Longap and Sanchez. I mean, what do you want him to do? I mean, I'm surprised that he's even alive. I was expecting him to commit suicide at one point. You know what I mean? It's
careful with that word. It's offensive.
Yeah, I know. I just thought that, but is he in my eyes a Jan Vertonghen Alderweireld level at their pomp? Maybe not, but I would say those two were world class when they were in their prime, and they had the stats to back it up as well.
Do you know what the issue is here? It's almost if you don't win league titles, lift Champions Leagues, you're not allowed to go into that world class bracket. It's almost as if world class means you must lift the biggest trophies in the World Cup, because it's just like a 1 month tournament. It's not a season long.
Oh, but hold on a minute. So then you're writing off Pele.
No, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm saying that's kind of how it is, because I listen. Matt Letizia is one of the best Premier League footballers I've ever seen. He won nothing. No one talks about.
Yeah, and he's world class. But he's world class though.
He'll never ever get that
a big team.
Yeah,
he hardly played for England. He'll never get that accolade.
Well, it's not an accolade. It's a categorization, isn't it? So this is where I think we're getting a bit muddled here. We have, as time's gone on, we've made this little bracket of elite, and then world class, and then quality, and every other delineation there is going. But is Matt Letizia elite? Well, no, because then he would have been at Man United or
he turned it down.
Madrid,
Barcelona. For him about
well, there you go.
And he blew it out.
There you go. So I think we should at least give him the honour of saying he was world class, because he turned, and he was loyal as well. Maybe that's world class in itself, being loyal.
Do you know one hallmark of a player that I think is, I don't know if it's world class, but it's definitely quality, is if you look at Harry Kane, he's consistently scored a lot of goals under any manager, any system, whether it's England, whether it's Tottenham. He must have played under 7-8 different managers, this guy. And yet, every manager, every system, he puts the ball in the back of the net. That, for me, is a hallmark of a quality player. Are we just waiting for him to win a Champions League to say, right, now you're world class? I don't think that's right. I think the argument for Kane being world class is very strong, very strong. With Romero, though, I think Dan's probably the closest on this. I think we need to see another 2-3 years. I think Dan's probably... I'm more likely.
Yeah, I agree on Romero. On the Harry Kane one, for me, there isn't a debate. He is world class. I mean, the fact that he scored so many goals and he's been in a Spurs team most of those years says he's world class. At the end of the day, it's not like we're putting him on a plate for him, say, like Haaland at Man City. But hello, Mr. Big Box Office, Mr. Big Box Office, Mr. Box Office.
Mr. Big Box.
But now we're looking at players like Tammy Abraham. Alex, how you doing, mate?
You're right, bro. This is only for a short time, not a long time, because I'm busy. I'm on the beach, and I'm looking for what you know how it is every single time, and that's it. You know what I mean? I've got better things to do than watching Tottenham fans twerking for Timo Werner. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just need to introduce myself to the crowd, because I haven't been here for quite a while. Because I do apologize to the audience. Yeah, I've been trying to make streams. Yeah. But then I sit there and think, why am I talking about the same thing I was speaking about last year before? People telling me I need to be patient. Bro, I've been patient for a lady to be my wife, bro. So seriously, bro, I know about being patient. You know what I mean? So I don't need people telling me to be patient about Tottenham. I've been waiting for how many years? And I'm still waiting. You know what I mean? So it's your main event, your Professor of Truth and Entertainment, the ratings killer.
I
the
wouldn't say
people's
so.
champion, and everyone's guilty pleasure, and that's it. And if you don't know, get to know. Let's get straight to this debate about Harry Kane. Let's get straight to the debate about Harry Kane, because it's a bit of a boring debate, really. Let's just say this, because,
Well,
like I said before,
it's more of a thing,
Jamie
Alex, about
Vardy.
accepting Tammy Abraham is more of what.
Oh yeah,
is
it's
on
boring,
it.
but let's just say this: Jamie Vardy is a more decorated player than Harry Kane. I'll tell you why: because he's won no trophies. He's won no trophies. Yes, he's a great player. He's a class player and everything else, and that's it. Yes, he is. But it's fault. It's his fault. He should have left Tottenham, because he knew what he was getting with Tottenham. They were
Then
losers.
Sean
We're
Butler makes a
absolutely
very good
loser.
actual point here. Then he says, "Dan, is Alvarez world class? I don't think so, but he's won it all. I
Yeah,
actually
but
think the man has made a
yeah,
solid
wait,
point.
this
I
is.
don't think he's world class, but he has won it all."
But the point I'm making is though, right? This is where people like Sean Butler Army has got a low mentality here. That's comes
No,
from
that's a fair point
teams
he's made.
that comes from a team that comes from fans that are making excuses for this club. Yeah. What was the, so top players get you over that line. That's why Drogba,
Mhm.
Teddy Sheringham, yeah, the likes of Andy Cole, yeah, the likes of Jamie Vardy, the likes of Tillemans get you over that line. They're elite. They're players that are good players because they get you over that line. Yeah, Harry Kane never done it. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
top
but look
players get you over that line. Yeah, they have that ruthless mentality. Yeah, they're not happy saying, "Oh, I'm happy to
I'll
just
agree
sit
with
here."
you on that part.
You know
I'll
what I mean?
definitely agree with you on that part. And I
How many
think it's what I
times
said
did Harry
earlier.
Kane get over the line, though? Spurs, out of all the big six clubs, playing the least amount of cup finals by some margin. So you have the least amount of opportunities at Spurs to get your team over the line as well.
So
though.
why did you not leave then? Why did you not leave? You know what I mean?
He did.
I'm sorry. I'm not having
He's
this.
gone.
No, I'm not having this nonsense. I'm not having this nonsense. I'm sorry. It's excuses. Yeah. And the same person, Sean,
Alex, I agree.
says
He should have put a transfer request in. I agree on that.
the
That I agree.
same
You're right.
person,
That I
the
agree.
same
I disagree.
person says the same person says Dyer is a good player. Yeah, the same person says, "Oh, when he leaves Tottenham, he'll show he's a good player." Yeah. Oh, the same player went to Bayern Munich that went finished third with no trophies. A team that's supposed to win trophies every single year. Yeah, have got elite mentality. Yeah. So I don't hear that nonsense. I don't hear nonsense. Yeah, because I'm a grown man, a grown ass man that knows what winning's all about. Yeah,
Harry
that's the
Kane
reason
couldn't
why
have done
I
more
hear
in Munich if
people.
he fucking tried, Alex. He couldn't have done more there if he tried. He broke every German record out there, scored the goals.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
the
But
team weren't on
bro,
it.
he's still lost.
You can
He's still
only,
lost though.
you,
I'm
right.
not saying he's bro. Listen, he did well,
The team lost.
but
Alex, the team
but the
Okay,
point I'm making
Alex,
is,
I'll get you. I'll get your point. I do get
the
it.
point
But let me
is,
put another side to you then. Is
go on.
Vicario a good goalkeeper or is he crap?
Pardon?
Is Vicario actually a good goalkeeper or is he shit?
He's all right.
I mean, he's letting.
Okay, at the
If
moment,
you actually
okay.
look
If
at
you
his
want to
stats, the
answer, no
amount of
shit.
goals
He's
he's
shit.
letting.
He's shit then. He's shit. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
shit.
but you can only be as good as the defence in front of you. You look at our defence, is that actually better than last season's defence? On paper, it's 10 times better, and people going all over it, like with Van der Ven and all that in there. But we've actually conceded 3 less goals than bloody Davis, Longley, and Sanchez and Dyer, for God's sake. You can only be as good as those of you around you or the tactics you're playing.
But
so I do agree with what you're getting at, but there is nothing more Harry Kane could have done at Munich. It was just, for once, he went there when they just weren't.
But then we get people
best.
saying that Dyer's a good player because he kept out that Korean player centre back.
Who said that? Who said that?
Oh, you know who said it. You know who said it.
He had 1 or 2
Elias.
good games. He did. That game he played Arsenal, he had a very good game. But just one game does not make you a great player.
So that's what I'm
The
saying.
only
That's what I'm
person I
saying.
know who said that was Elias. He's the only one who said that.
No. I know who said it. You know who I've said. I've just mentioned his name.
Just leave
So
it.
I'm
But then they don't know. They don't have a football brain. Those people, obviously.
So this is the point.
Simple.
This is the point I'm making. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Eric
And
Dyer
only a
is not
debate
a
on
good
Romero, because I'm seeing now there's a lot of people. Sorry, Slios, I know you
Eric
want your
Dyer.
time to shine, but Mr. Box Office, he only needs 5 minutes to make his time to shine rather than 30 minutes. But I love you, mate. Yeah, I love you, bro. But the point is, yeah, right. I'm not having a go at you, Slios, by the way. Don't get evils on me. The point is, yeah. The point I'm making is the whole thing about Romero. yeah, people now are starting getting scared. He's going to lead the club. I wonder why. I wonder if Romero want to go to Real Madrid. Oh, you damn well he wants to go to Real Madrid. You damn well he wants to go to Real Madrid. Yes, he does, because he wants to win trophies. Yeah, the team that just won the Champions League for the 5th time or the 4th time, whatever it was. You know what I mean?
More like the 15th time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go and win trophies. Yeah, not just to go for a project with our team, with a manager that can't even coach a team. Yeah, that we ain't got no coaches for our team at the moment. Yeah, because people forget. Oh, we need a great transfer window, but who's coaching the players though, bro? Who's coaching the players? Because Chris Davis is gone. He's gone.
Who was the one who turned around and said, "Yeah, I know we've got a problem in set pieces, but it's just it's down there."
It's Mason and Yadanak. Brilliant coaching.
I said it on Tottenham away. I'm Ange out. There's too many things wrong, right? He's doing too many mistakes. He's speaking way too much, right? And exactly how we feared. And I was saying it from very early doors. In fact, I was actually saying it even before the 10-game run would happen. It has happened, and I'm just sick and tired, right, of going through this cycle over and over and over again. I'm absolutely done. So I want him sacked, and to be honest, even though I want him sacked, it won't make any difference to Tottenham. We'll just get another manager in, exactly the same thing will happen. So I'm just telling my opinion now, and I'd rather Ange go because he's pissed me off, to be honest.
I must admit, on most of what you said, I actually agree with it. And there's been a couple of good points, but there's so many parts where a professional manager should have realised, and they say it is his first season, but when you see that your zonal marking is not working, even some people think it does, some people think it don't. But when 90% of anyone who even an armchair person can turn around and say that zonal working ain't marking because there's no one in the bloody zones, they all run in after the corner's taken. If we can work this out, and should have worked that out 20 games earlier, which he didn't, and that conceded us games basically. And other things he didn't work out, like defending the bloody goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper was getting touched up and then we were conceding goals because of it. We became the 3rd worst team joint in the Premiership at conceding set pieces, and he did nothing until 3 games to go. There are
you're spot on, Dan. I know you've been saying it for a lot of the season as well. All right. The thing is, right, and I said it to Stel and the lads offline, in WhatsApp. I said everyone's expecting them to have a good summer window, right? And I said, watch this. We're going to get the same shit, right, over and over again. Now Levy's building his little hotel, right? If we're expecting quality players to come in, forget it. It's not going to happen. We might get one quality signing to appease the fans, but that'll be it. We'll just get 3 or 4 other dross players.
Are you basically saying, sorry to interrupt you, but I think I've got your point here. Are you basically saying we are just going to go back to the same as when the stadium was getting built because there's so much money getting pumped inside those hotels? Are you saying that?
I am saying that, yeah.
I
think it's a safe assumption. Like that. Yeah, right. It's a safe assumption, right? Because one, there's precedent for that happening, right? And 2, the fact that the board have come out and said we're looking for outside investment tells you everything. That means they've got a big.
As you're talking facts.
Yes, if there's no investors coming in, right? All they're going to do is it's going to take another loan again, and the fans are going to pay it off for them.
I know, but you sometimes, let's not make this an accounting or finance show, but right,
I don't want that.
They will need investors, and typically for those types of projects, you'll have investors come in and pump a load of personal wealth in from their companies to fund this type of to fund Levy land, basically. But back to the football, though. So 1 second, Alex. Back to the football, right? The fact, right, that Timo Werner's come through the door has set the scene for what's going to happen in the summer and next season.
Can I just to help you with your point, Maz, right? We're going to try and keep on the football, but to help you on the point there, right? The reason why I think that you're absolutely spot on, right, is that what have we heard from the board to say what is the 5-year plan for the football?
We've never had that before. 5-year plan. We don't even have
And
a
this is
2-year
supposed to be a
plan.
4-year plan with Ange. Yeah, the only person I've heard is from Ange.
Plan.
Yeah.
Like what is the plan? What is the end goal? What is the end goal? Where do we want to end up?
Basically, what I think he's saying
Levy
is,
lad.
would it actually settle down a few fans if Levy actually come out of his fucking high horse or whether he's
Well, that's the
stuck
point.
in or the little cave
That's
and
the point.
come
I've been
out
saying
of
that
it
for how long though,
and
Dan?
said, hang on, and said to a few fans like, look, it ain't going just too right at the moment, but we're going to back this manager for 4 years, come love nor money.
Dan,
But
we
what
know
they
it
need to
won't
say,
happen. It
what
won't
they need
happen.
to say is this, right? When
Right,
the
back
new
in
owner,
two. I just got to go to the toilet.
yeah, go for it, man. When the new owners of Man City came in, they spoke about we want to win. We're going to listen to Mark Hughes. He's a football guy to put a plan for us to win silverware. We want to win trophies. That's what you heard. Stan Kroenke came in. He goes, I like winning. I own many sports businesses. I want to win. And then a year after, they said, we're here. We want to win trophies. It's about trophies. And at the end of last season, when they fell short of the Premier League title, they said, we're going to go again. We're not going to give up. We have a mission. We want to achieve it. Winning trophies. You constantly hear that from ambitious football clubs. Okay. We've never heard that kind of conversation from our owners. They've never said, we want to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. What they say is, we want to make ourselves competitive. Like, what in the actual fuck does that mean? Compete for what?
We got our Tottenham
Survival?
back, still.
Carabao
No,
Cup?
we got our Tottenham back. That's all.
Profit? Like, what do you mean we want to be competitive? I'm competitive at things and I'm shit at it. I'm competitive. It's not that great, I'll compete. Like, what? Coming out and saying we've got a plan, it's going to be 4 years, and the plan is to no one wants to hear that shit because no one believes it. We need to hear what they want for the club. Why are you here? What is it you want to achieve with Tottenham? And I think
Danny's
that's
already told you.
That's what I need.
No, but
that's
that's
what I
true,
need
right?
to hear.
It doesn't even have to come out from Levy's mouth. It just have to be a statement from the club, right, to the fans to tell the fans what they want. But the problem is that every time
same thing. He owns the club,
but every time when they open their mouth, right, they lie to us, right? Aston Villa game, we're gonna get our DNA back, attacking football. Who the hell did we sign as manager?
No, but the thing is though, if they come out with a statement like that, and I know why they're not doing it. The reason they won't do it is because then we can hold them to account.
Because they won't be held to it.
They don't want to be accountable.
You can't hold them to account for not winning trophies because they've never said that's why we're here. That's what we want. They've never
Danny
said that.
Kyoko's already confirmed that. Danny Kyoko's already confirmed it as well because he said from the very beginning when they came in as owners, said they're not here for the football. So we've already got our answer back then.
I'll give you this, right? Okay, I'm not sure any of you guys know Arthur, right? Arthur who comes and do my shows, the Kim's dad and all that. Arthur has met Daniel Levy, right, personally before, way back. And you know what Daniel Levy told Arthur? Right? We are here to win things. And that's the lie. And we've been lied to all as well.
Eugene,
Dan,
hang on a second.
Who said it was easy? No one said it was easy.
I wouldn't say it's easy.
No, that's the point I'm going to make. Yeah, I know.
Winning trophies is not
but
easy, but we don't come close.
I think he's made some fair points on a couple of things he said, and other things he said I can't agree with it at all. I mean, no one said anything was easy, exactly like said. But United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, they've all won cups.
Hotspur.
Yeah. What have we won in 24 years? How anyone can defend this prick of a chairman when he's made the same mistakes, and we all say the same thing time and time again. Same circle, same problems. Here we go. All of a sudden, something looks smart, something looks good. Okay, it's getting positive. It looks like we're clearing out some deadwood. Ivan Toney, Eze, bang. Tammy Abraham gets slapped on the table. All right, we haven't bought him, but where the history just shows of it so much, That is why people are ranting about it, because we've already gone and got Timo fucking Werner, who we do 165 grand a bloody week on. No one said nothing was easy, but everybody still won everything. This is Man U's worst team I have ever seen that I can remember, and I'm 43. Maybe they had a worse one when I was 3 years old, but the worst team ever. I think they've got a very incapable manager compared to what they have had in the past, and they have still won cups. Okay, league, they've been shit, but mate, I'll quite happily finish 15th and win an FA Cup. 2 seasons on the trot. Give me 15th place, give me an FA Cup, League Cup. I'm a happy man. But I know
That's what we used to. That's what we used to do when we were in the 80s and 90s, right?
We've never been a league team. We have always been a cup team. We have never been a league winning team, bar back in the 60s.
That's why I keep.
But we don't even do that anymore.
That's why I keep saying I don't want this Tottenham back. I want a new Tottenham. I want a Tottenham that wins the league. Right? I want a Tottenham that goes and challenges for the Champions League, wins the Champions League, and win trophies. Right? It doesn't matter. That's why we got our Tottenham back. Right? It's a bunch of bullshit lies again. That's all I see it.
That's never going to happen. I'm going to be happy if we can just go for a fucking trophy or a cup. I mean, again, does anyone actually believe that Ange took that first cup serious?
No,
the League Cup?
No.
No, that was the day I split up with my ex, and I was more disappointed about going out the league.
You know what? I'm going to say something opposite. I actually do think that he took it seriously, but he's not a very good manager, and he picked a crap team
by changing 9 players for one game, basically.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. How about that? You know,
overrated the players that he put on the pitch for Fulham. That's all we can say. He thought Chicken Royale will do good. He thought Ben Davies will do good. But to tell the truth, why is Ben Davies still here?
I'll tell you what, he did it because he saw them play well against a couple of friendly teams, like Barcelona, and he thought, yeah, I can trust on these guys. I'll stick them and they'll be fine. Right? And it just shows his naivety at this level.
Do you know? I think the biggest issue in our club is our fans, man. Like I've said before, it's acceptance. Yeah. It's accepting mediocrity. Do you know? I was watching a show who I will not mention because I've made promises, but I was watching a show the other day saying that we should sell Emerson Royale. So this is our fan base mentality. We should sell Emerson Royale, but keep Oliver Skip as the right backup. I'm thinking, hold on a minute. The left back and right back backup. And I'm thinking, so you want to get rid of an actual right back who's shit and replace him, the backup, with a midfielder because we play with inverted fullbacks. Did no one watch Anfield away where Skip got rinsed inside out back to because he can't defend? And as an inverted
and you
fullback,
can't even blame him for it.
Defend, right? But so I'm listening to, and he really believed what he was saying. Like he genuinely believed, but he's homegrown. He can invert into the midfield. By the way, the inverted midfielders, wingbacks, are part of our problem. To continually invert both doesn't work. But anyway, I'm listening to this.
I agree.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this. I'm watching it in disbelief, like shock horror. Half of the comments are going ballistic, like what the. And the other half of the comments are like, yeah, you make a good point. Interesting opinion. I'm just sitting there thinking, do we as fans want to win trophies? Like, do we want to win trophies? Are we saying that a clever idea is to keep Skip as an alternative fullback because he can invert into the midfield, but he can't defend? This is where our heads are at now. But you know what? There's lots of crazy people that say stuff like this. And I just think as a fan base, do we even know what winning looks like? Do we even know what it should look like? I was just flabbergasted. I was genuinely stunned by this. And I didn't respond. I didn't go in the comments because I thought if I go in the comments, I'm going to cause havoc. I can't be bothered.
I just get blocked.
In me. So I switched off. I left the channel. Thought I'm going to leave. I can't.
Mate,
hearing this.
When I first said this, you and on your channel, you and about 3 others said on there, like, yeah, you agreed when I first said this club is just too accepting, and that is what it is. We accept goddamn fucking mediocre players. I mean, if you really even want to be technical, yeah, Eze is not a quality player. Not yet. He's a very good player, and
he's a
I
lot
think
better than what
he's
we've
going to
got.
be.
That's the
Oh
that's the
yeah,
point, isn't it? It's a
exactly.
lot-
Well, that's the
We're
problem,
going to have
Dan.
another guest in a minute, but he's got a lot of potential, and you can see he's got more potential than fucking Brennan Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah, but
50 million.
that's the problem. That's
I
the
do
problem,
think
Dan.
he's.
That's the
but
problem, Dan.
this-
There's a quality. The quality's down here, right? And then you get somebody a little bit over. To be fair, right? He has got the quality. I like him. I do like him. I don't think he's got the
I like
arrogance, though.
Izzy.
I don't think
I
he's
like
got the
Izzy.
arrogance like Elise's got the arrogance. I think
I mean,
Elise's
I
got
think
arrogance.
Eze is very good, and I want him a lot. Yeah, but
At
what I'm
least
saying
he's
is,
better. At least he's better.
Elise's better.
Yeah.
He's got the arrogance. He's got the swag. He's got the arrogance
But
and
Eze's still
swag.
good. though.
but what I'm trying to
Eze's
say
still good
is
player.
where we are so used to bang average players. We look at players like
Yeah.
Eze, like
That's
they're
the
actually
point.
world class. I'm not saying he's
you're
crap.
right. You're
I
right.
think he's very good, and I think he's going to get better. Will he ever be world class? Will he fuck? But we actually look at players like Eze at Crystal Palace with our jaw on the floor, like
Yeah. I
he's
get what you're
quality.
saying.
He's
That's
world
exactly
class.
what I was trying
He's
to make. The
excellent.
point I was making.
Because we are so mediocre on what we fucking accept.
Yeah, exactly.
We even look at players like Eze like he's Modric.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Even
You're
though I
Because
think
we
Eze
used
is
to
great
watching
and I want him.
Wonder.
That's our
We
That's
used
our
to
mentality. You're
Brennan
absolutely spot on.
Johnson. There's
Absolutely
no flair.
spot on.
No flair in our team. Where's the flair?
Yeah.
Who's a flair player first? There's not one flair player. Son used to.
Romero.
He's a different type of player now.
I don't think it is
Madison was
this.
supposed to be it.
It's a bit
Madison was
like
supposed to be. He's been shit for 5 months. Absolutely dog shit. Madison has been. I'll say it. He's crap. Sorry,
it's a
Dad.
bit like
Sorry, Dad.
no, it's all right. I'm just going to make an analogy. It's a bit like Stockholm syndrome, isn't it? You know, when you fall in love with your kidnapper. And sort of Levy's done that to us where he thinks he's fooled us into thinking that buying Eze is an upgrade. And it technically is. It's because we've had so much mediocrity. I think that's what we're trying to say, isn't it? That I'm not knocking Eze, by the way. I think he would be a good sign.
I think he's a very good player. He's just
yeah. But I don't want him to be the marquee signing. We need more than that. You know, we need a bigger players than that. I don't mind Eze coming in as part of 3 or 4.
Marquee. That is going to be the marquee, and you know.
Yeah, I know Mr. Office weren't on the show at that, but you did say that still. And yeah, I'm kind of fearful that would be the case because it will look like a great signing, wouldn't it? You know, 60 mil, flash player. He's in the England squad. But I was just listening along to that, and I was just thinking, you know what? Crystal Palace have got 4 or 5 players that I'd have to come into our squad. Because if you look at the
West
England
Ham have got about 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't mind that Walton, you know, at centre midfield. I think he'll come in and do a great job at Spurs, you know. But it's I can't remember if we said this on another show, but it's worrying that that's the first time in like 30 plus years that we haven't got a Tottenham player in the England squad. I know it's not like what we should be marking ourselves against, but we should be priding ourselves on supplying players for the national team, and we can't even do that at the moment. It weren't that long ago that we had 5 or 6 in that squad. And I know there's been some jokes about he fills the homegrown quota about Tammy Abraham, but it's actually a serious issue at this club. We haven't got many quality players that tick that box. And Palace are doing a better job than that as us. So again, it goes back to that recruitment model, isn't it? Are we buying for the manager? Are we buying for the club? Are we buying for a philosophy? We're kind of doing a bit of each without committing to one. And that's where the problem lies. If we sit there and commit to one, at least we'll do a better job of doing it. But it just feels like we keep swapping and changing between the two. Like Levy's not going to be in charge of transfers anymore, but every transfer seems to have his dirty little fingers over it. So that's why we're sitting here moaning about it. And I think we're getting another guest in, aren't we, Dan? I'll hand back to you.
Well, but David, the only thing is that, right, we usually have quite a lot of quality English players in our squad, or actually in our first 11, right? But this season, the only English player that we actually have that is quality was supposedly supposed to be Madison. Where's the rest of them? We sold them all off. Harry Kane is gone, right? I mean, we've let and of course Eric Dyer has gone to Bayern Munich and all that. But in the end of the day, if you do build that English core, right, in Spurs, then you will see them go and represent the country. But this season, what I've seen, right, we've brought in our youth, right, to bolster up our homegrown quota.
Yeah.
And I feel that this season is going to be the same thing again. Unless we get in Eze, right, that will bring us a bit closer to that. But we need a few more. Right?
Yeah. But again, it's buying for different reasons other than winning a trophy, isn't it? It's buying to tick these boxes. It's not buying players to win trophies. But yeah, I'll hand over to you, Dan, because Savva in, haven't we?
Yeah, Savva, you there?
What's here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you now, mate.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, sorry, Dan. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a hiatus from YouTube, but I needed a 10-minute kind of slot just to remind myself that I do still support Tottenham Hotspur, because it's becoming more and more difficult on myself of that fact the older I'm getting. Just wanted to, I've been listening to you guys while I've been working, and do you know what? On the Eze piece, quickly, before I go into what I wanted to talk about, the thing is, Eze's a very good footballer, right?
Yes.
But Eze's the sort of player where we regularly signed Eze's. Eze's used to be the norm. That's what we signed. We signed good players. The problem you've got now is the bar is set so low at Tottenham Hotspur that when we get, I'm not saying we bought him yet, but then when you get a good player, our fans push them into this stratosphere, which means that they're world class. They're the best thing that's ever happened. I'll use examples such as, look at Christian Romero. Christian Romero's a good centre half, right? He's nowhere near the best in the league. He's nowhere near the worst. He's a good, solid Premier League centre half. But because he came after Rodon, Dyer, Sanchez, Davis, our fans went, oh my God, he's the best. It's amazing. And unfortunately, that's what we're doing time after time, Dan. You look at this transfer window already, and people who all the overly toxic positive people will go, it's not even open. But we've just had a year where we've got a brand new director of football. You know, I know he's a year into his job now. You've got Scott Munn, who's a year in. Director of football, Johan Lang, who's a year in. Paratici, who's been there for what feels like decades. You've got I can't think the other guy who came in from Villa with Lang. You've got Postecoglou, who's been there for a year now, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, this project, and you can't see me, but I'm doing air quote project. Oh, what are the targets they've been unveiling for the last year? Brilliant. Okay, the first one that comes in is Timo Werner. Great. Okay, cool. Right, cool. It's only a loan, which will end up being 18 months. Great. Who else? Now we're linked with Tammy Abrahams. Decent player, decent footballer, right? There's nothing wrong with Tammy Abraham. But again, it's not the bloke that takes you any further forward. It's not the bloke that elevates you. So my question is, what are any of these people actually doing? Who are they scouting? Whose decision is it when we start looking at these really underwhelming footballers? Whose decision is it to pull the trigger on those? No, I fail to believe, as much as I don't like Daniel Levy, I fail to believe that this is all on Daniel Levy, because we've spent some serious money on some serious crap. And Dan, look, before I end up venting and ranting, I could go for the next 4 hours. What's changing? What has actually changed? There is this so-called, seeing all these YouTubers put these videos out going, exciting news, Tottenham to obliterate transfer fee, and the project's changing. What are these people watching that I'm not?
I've seen people put bloody things all over X, or whatever you want me to call it, saying Timo Werner's going to fucking smash it this year.
Mate, look, at the end of the day, Tottenham are what Tottenham are, right? We're a team that's going to be fifth to eighth place every season. We've got enough quality that will keep us in the running for European competitions, but never enough quality to take us beyond that level. And that's fine. If that's what people want, fine. We can do that. And we can say, yeah, fifth, not a bad season. Great. But it's the absolute denial of everyone involved which kills me. And like Stella always says, it is the denial of fans. It is the fact that we'll get linked. I'm just going to chuck a random name out, right? We'll get linked with a player like Mengi of Luton. We're not. I'm just making this up. we'll get linked with a player like Mengi from Luton. Our fan base will find a way to turn this into the greatest transfer that's ever been concluded by a football club.
It's true.
This is what we do. And I've had enough, mate. I'm at the point where
it's true.
I'm going to say this live, and I'll probably get
say what you want to say,
I haven't
mate.
said to the like still you. I'm at the point where go to shit. Let's just go and buy shit. Let's go and buy it. Let's keep not challenging. Let's keep not trying to be any better. And then I want to see everyone's face when all of their ridiculous opinions are wrong season out.
I mean, when it comes to it, you want to be wrong on this, don't you? You don't want to be right on what you're saying. I don't want to be right on what I'm saying about Timo Werner or fucking Tammy Abraham or whatever and that and other players and that. I want to be wrong. I want people to be able to come on here and say, Dan, look at you, mate. You got it wrong. Timo Werner banged in 20 on the side.
You won't be.
I want to be wrong.
You won't be, mate. I know you want to be, but I've said the line so many times. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong, and I'm waiting for the club to do something that makes me think, "Oh, Savra, have you been too harsh? Oh, have you got it?" I'll leave you with this, right? I'll bugger off and let these proper guests have a go. Proper YouTubers now, right?
Well, thanks for coming on, mate.
I'll leave this, right. At the beginning of this window, I went around when Werner signed, and I said, that means that our forward line next season is Werner, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, and Son. So nothing has changed from last year. And then I was told, calm down, the window's not even shut. But maybe one of those will leave, which leaves the space for one more to come in, Dan. That tells us that whatever happens, 5 of the 6 that we went in with last season are going to be 5 of the 6 we go into this new season with, and our fans celebrate it. I'm absolutely embarrassed that our club does this, Dan.
When Ange actually stood there and said several times that we are not clinical enough up front, we need to be more clinical, and basically said that up front we ain't good enough, and then he goes and re-signs one of the problems. That is what I can't get my head around.
But bang on. Do you know what? It absolutely bang on. It's like me going to the same restaurant every week, complaining the food isn't good. Isn't good enough.
Yeah, and then keep going back there.
Anyway, I could moan all day. Love you all. Lovely to see Alex's little smiling face right slap bang in the middle there with his new singing career. Look, I'll leave you to it. You and I both know what will happen this window. We'll sign one good player, 6 average ones, a couple of kids that will never, ever see the light of day, and take it from there.
Same shit, same Spurs, same stuff. Cheers for coming on, mate. It's appreciated. Hope you have a good day on that. Yeah.
Much love, guys.
Take it easy, fella.
Oh, it's so refreshing hearing from Sava when it's so honest, man. Bloody hell.
Basically, he's just hit the fucking nail on the head. He's just basically, in his way, said what we're all saying and that. And Coolest, do you know what? I've got this show set up and I've been waiting for the right time to do it, yeah? Few of you will know what one it is. I've kept it half quiet. Now is the time. I'm going to get this show set up for when everybody is free during the week or the weekend. And it should be a bit of fun. Because after what I have now seen, again, it hasn't happened, okay. But I just can't see it not happening or something like that happening, basically, because it happens all the time. And he's also right on what he said, same as what we've agreed on. Eze he's very, very good. But because we're so stuck to mid-standard, bog-standard crap at Spurs, to the point where people big up Timo fucking Werner, we think he's a world-class player on the same level as bloody Messi. And I'm not disrespecting Eze in any way. I want him at Spurs, big time. Good player. But it's true, isn't it? We are just such an accepting club that we can take a very average player and make him to quality, and a quality player, and tell the world that he's the next Ronaldo.
I think he's absolutely speaking facts. To be honest with you, it's a frustration I feel at the moment, Dan. I've got to that point now. I'm underwhelmed. I said it on Spurs Kings TV to Smatic, and I love Smatic, but it's like I had somebody on there last week, and they were saying to me, "Well, you need to wait to see what's cooking." You know what I mean? It's like Klopp, and he's a Liverpool
get
fan.
that.
He said to me, "Oh, Liverpool went through the same thing." I said, "You've won trophies. You've won trophies. Why are you trying to go down to our level?" You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Liverpool haven't gone through the same thing. Liverpool have never
Exactly.
gone.
And he was just talking ridiculous because he loves Ange. And I was like,
24 years of one trophy. Never been through
exactly.
that.
And I was just hearing it, and just like the people on the panel, not including Asthmatic, were hitting on it straight away. Because I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then people try and get you, like, you know, try and twist what you say as well to try and get you on your side as well. You know what I mean? Saying, well, if the players come in that Ange wants, it's going to be to his blaming. So you've got to think about your agenda. And I'm like, why are we doing this for? The fact is, either win or lose. That's it. Simple. But then I just hear this from Tottenham fans. I'm underwhelmed with our transfer window. Simple as that. I don't even care about the transfer window. I don't care.
And it ain't even
I'll be
fucking
honest with you.
started.
Alex,
I'm underwhelmed.
Alex, why can't our fan base have just one agenda?
And I've got to
Win,
guys, got
win the
David.
trophy.
Yeah.
All right, take care, Stel.
You got to go take care of yourself, Stel. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, Stel, see you later, Stel.
Everyone in the chat, big up. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Take care.
Thanks for coming on, man. Take care of yourself.
Cool, man. Have a good one.
Go on, Eugene. You were saying.
That's what I'm saying. Why can't our fan base just have one agenda, right? To have that agenda to win a trophy, win the league, right? If our fan base can just have that one heart to achieve that, then maybe we'll push our owners to do something. But the problem is that we are so divided. Eugene,
it's never going to happen. Eugene, it's never going to happen.
Let me just answer a question on here, because Sean does keep asking a lot of questions. And do you know what? Whether people disagree or whatever, I actually think you've made a couple of decent points, and then others I disagree with, because it is a majority is purely opinion at the end of the day, and then there's also facts. Dan, do I rate Rafinha? Eze has contributed more than him, and Barcelona fans celebrating Rafinha's signing. I rate Rafinha. I think he'd walk into Spurs team. I rate Eze. I mean, I don't know how else to say this. I'm not the best when it comes to putting it across. I can only put it across my way. I need someone like Dave or someone like other friends I've got who can translate it for 10 different people to understand it. I think Eze is a very good player. Is he world class? Is he fuck? But he can get better. He will take us up a bit because he's a very good player. But we look at a player like Eze, who is good, and make him out to be world class because we are so used to bog standard crap at Spurs. I rate both of them. I'd love them both at Spurs. They're both good, very good, but they ain't world class. They're both better than what we got, but they're not world class. So yeah, I rate both of them. I think it's a fair question.
Dan, I think what we need to realise as well, and you'll know this, so it's more me speaking to the comment section, but even if we sign proven players, that doesn't mean they're going to be successful at Tottenham because of the way we are as a club and our mentality. And I'm more specific. I'm not talking about the mentality of what Andrew's talking about. I'm more talking about the historical mentality of Daniel Levy and the management structure he puts in place.
You know this already because Andrew was saying this after the Man City game, wasn't he? Because he was annoyed by he was so annoyed, wasn't he?
No, I think that was slightly different, Alex. Because the problem with what Andrew was saying was he didn't understand why we wanted to lose to Arsenal, and he was talking about it from that. He was equating us wanting to lose to Arsenal as us not being ambitious. Lose to Man City as us not being ambitious, right? But what he failed to realise is that he lost the top four race. He did. He made bad decisions in the 4 or 5 previous games that lost us it. And what he couldn't understand and what he didn't reflect on himself was that why were the fans feeling the way they were? Why did we want to lose to Man City? And that's where, again, it should be the responsibility of the club to inform Ange, look, this is our history. This is why the fans hate Arsenal. This is why they probably want us to lose, right? You know,
But that's the culture of our club, though.
Yeah,
That's our culture of our club, though, isn't it?
let's flip it. If we were second place and we needed to beat a club to win something, then and us beating the other club meant that Arsenal won something, then yeah, I can understand why he would get the hump. But there's no point repeating that whole scenario again because we've done it to death when that happened, right? But it's the, to coin a phrase, it's the history of the Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but man, what in that scenario, right? To tell the truth, right? I don't think Ange doesn't know the history between Arsenal and Tottenham. I'm sure he does. Right? But the thing is that I think he was led down the wrong route to say the wrong things that pissed more people off. You guys know? He could have taken that.
I don't agree, Eugene. I'll tell you why I don't agree. No, you're right. But the problem is, there's the difference between knowing something and there's a difference between understanding something. And he didn't understand the situation and he didn't read the room properly.
No, but to tell the truth, if he could have understood the Celtic and Rangers rivalry, why couldn't he have understood the Arsenal and Spurs rivalry? Unless he feels that Spurs is not even in the Arsenal rivalry part. You understand or not? So that's the sad part that we're going to say, right? So that's why I'm saying, to understand, I'm sure he knows, but to deeply understand. But the thing is that why he had to go out and piss off the rest of the fan base, you can say, and to create such a storm again. I don't know. I think this is just all part of our club PR kind of scenario that they like to play with. So, and create drama and then we get to do more content on YouTube. That's all, right? So
yeah. I did read that a little bit differently. I'm not disagreeing with what you guys have said, by the way. Ange did make a mistake there, and I think he did try and cover that back up in the sort of press conference afterwards. Yeah. But I think what he was criticising was not just the fans, but also inside the club as well, is that he's trying to build this we win at all costs mentality. That's what he's trying to install in the club. And therefore, that means that we try and win every single game, even if it did have a detrimental effect in terms of Arsenal winning the league. And I think he was like, no, forget that. We need to build this mentality that we win at all costs. And that's what he's trying to install. And I think that's where his frustration born out from. But I do think he got it wrong. And that's why his press conference afterwards is a little bit different than what he had before. So I agree with the points you're making on that.
I agree with you too, bud. But don't you think, though, that if that is the case, then his decision-making needs to be a lot better if you're going to try and instill something like that?
100%.
Okay, David, I give you an example. If you're going out to win at all costs, right? Why the hell did you play Ben Davies against Saka? Why the hell did you put who was the other one? Is it Emerson Royal against who was it? Liverpool, Mo Salah. You guys,
Yeah.
So the thing is, why didn't you, if you really wanted to win, right? Throw VDV onto the left, put Dragos in, and try that out.
Yeah, and when he used hindsight, he'd done that later on. But I think I'm only guessing. I think his thought process was, I don't want to take out my two centre backs because then I'm creating another problem. Even
because
though
of how much we rely on Van der Ven for what he does.
Yeah, exactly. But I would agree with you, Eugene, in the sense that it would make more sense to put Dragusin in there, which weakens the centre halves. I don't agree with that necessarily.
And not even that. Sit back 5 yards and play a different game. And
he done it right at the end of the season, didn't he? But I will caveat that with at Celtic, and again, I know I've got to be careful with the comparisons here, different leagues and different animals, right? But in the first season, he was very stubborn at Celtic, made a lot of mistakes. We touched on it with the set pieces before. Second season, he put a lot of those mistakes right. So I'm still quite comfortable that he will. However, if he carries on doing it the same, then I'll probably be on with Maz and sitting there saying, well, Ange out as well, right? But I'm giving him that second season because I think it's one of those that will.
I've changed my position now. I've fundamentally rewired myself. I'm in the Scott M camp. I'm manager out until they prove me wrong. That's where I am. That's my position now. I don't care what manager it is. I want them out of the club, and Levy and everyone else, unless they prove me wrong. Because I'm fed up of backing every single manager, placing, giving them God's grace, right, for everything, and then them doing this, repeating the same old patterns, the same old narrative, the same old this, same old that. I'm just done with it. I'm so done.
Yeah, there's that famous meme that goes around the internet, isn't it? You know, where it's like a circular motion that we all end up loving.
Okay, David, I come back to this, right? Let's say if next season all of a sudden Ange have this epiphany, right, and decides to play and adapt to what he has learned from last season, and it becomes something good, then of course all of us are going to be happy, right? And we are like heading, challenging for something. Yeah. Announce the day before Ben Davies. Yeah, and announce the day before Ben Davies started, and then people know your tactics, right? So
it's true. It's true. Yeah. It's true.
And that shows his naivety. You get what I'm saying? That's why Mass, Scott M, Dietrich Kane, right? I mean, Dietrich Kane and Scott M have been the from day one, they've been saying Ange out because they say he ain't good enough. That's all. Right. But the thing is that we can't do anything because the manager is here. And we've seen so many managers turn around, right, in our club. We just have to swallow our pride and sit down and see what happens. And we, first 10 games, we were all happy, right? We're going to win the league in the first 10 games and all that. Then when the wheels fell off, it is what it is. But my feeling now is that we have gone into a reset, right? This transfer window has come in. All we can do is sit back and watch what we're going to get. And we just hope, let's see whether Ange will adapt. If Ange doesn't adapt, if the results turn bad, by December he'll be gone. That's how I see it.
The evidence over the time, and this is obviously backing up Stelios's point about like Levy out and all of that, is Pochettino has probably been the only manager in the last couple of decades that's actually improved whilst being at Spurs and left with his stock higher than when he came to the club. You think of all our last managers.
He is the only manager that
you could argue maybe Redknapp's done a good job. And his stock was relatively high towards the end. But every other single manager that's come in over the last couple of decades has kind of come in with a good reputation, and we've ruined them or broken them. They're breaking their souls half the time. I mean, we nearly even broke Mourinho's soul.
Yeah.
And he's one of the sort of coldest managers going in terms of, the steely nature of the man, right? And we still nearly broke him, or we did break him technically, I guess.
David, Spurs is where all the managers and the players come to die.
It is. I mean, they used to say that with Chelsea, like basically, what was it, a poison chalice, whatever. But at least you went to Chelsea for 2 years and won something. Look, my whole point on this is just the fact that okay, I get the transfer window hasn't started. Why are you going into one? It all just comes back to the point I've repeated. It's just got Spursy written all over it, and I can only go by what I mean. Look, if I could predict the future, I wouldn't tell everybody because then the money would go down. But I'd tell a couple of close friends on what the Euro numbers are going to be. If I go and put it on here, then I'm going to win fuck all. So I'm sorry, I ain't going to tell everyone. But if I could predict the future like that, then fine. But in some ways, you can almost predict the future by going back in history. Now, I'm not talking going 50 years back, but I'm talking going 24 years back, year by year, by year, by year, by year. It doesn't look like a very good CV, does it? And when it's been the same problems every time, you ain't going to employ that man because he's not learning. His CV hasn't got any better. He's made the same mistakes every time, i.e., Mr. fucking Levy. When it comes to Ange, I was Ange out briefly for the sheer fact that we just got Timo Werner in. Do I think we come down too heavy on him because it's because he blatantly said, I pick the players that come in here. I choose them. He put his head on there and he did not need to. So a lot of people hold him down to it because you want a manager that's going to basically stand his ground on what he says and be strong enough to do it. And now it's just really looking like if we do go and get players like Tammy Abraham and also do have a Timo Werner in now, where are we going to go next? And you just start thinking, we've just got another yes man here and things aren't going to change. It took him nearly a season to change his way that he realised the zonal marking don't work, that he realised certain things had to change. And he did it with 2 games left. And people said to me, well, he's gone and done what you wanted him to do. What's your problem? yeah, the fact that it took 36 bloody games when me and a lot of the chat and a lot of the people who do YouTube, even who are positive, even saw that something should have been said. If he is a good manager, I'm giving him praise basically by saying he should have seen this, because I'm saying he's a good manager that should have seen this, but he didn't. Was it that he was too stubborn? Was it that he was just trying everything out? I don't know, but I am struggling at the minute to see. At 1 minute, I'm seeing Ezzy's, Ito, Tony's, this and that, and then something like that comes up, and it has just got Spursy written all over it, and I am just stuck on that fence at the moment where I just don't know whether to be positive with Ange or negative with him. And I know when it comes to Mr. Levy, you just be negative anyway if you're realistic, where some people like to be positive with him because he's done good for us on the money side. I couldn't give a toss. I do not support a business. I support a football team. And this whole thing, it's just got Spursy written all over it.
I feel like I haven't done a good job cheering you up, Dan.
I don't think anyone's cheered themselves up. But right, what I'm going to do is just do the last couple of chats on the side here. So
Yeah,
big
to be
thanks
fair,
to everybody.
I'm getting chatted up by Donna Cullen, it seems.
See, it seems that she likes you as well.
I thought she was talking about Eugene, to be fair.
She was a big fan of Savra as well. And thanks for all the people on the chat coming in. Thanks for everyone coming on. I know I've gone on one on this one, but this for me, it was just the fact that I was actually really, really trying to be positive over the past few shows, like on Alan's show and others I've been on. And then I just go and see something like this. And again, it's just got Spurs written all over it. And where the fuck are we going to go? I don't know. We won't know until the transfer window starts, finishes. But Maz, where do we find you? I take it you've gone quiet there. Okay, you.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. I'm not on socials and stuff like that, but I'm on Tottenham Away. So you'll see me every Monday night with the lads on Tottenham Away.
And Donna, I do. It's just he's a very busy man. Dave, where do we find you?
Well, unfortunately for Donna, I've deleted my Tinder profile. I've got the right hump with that. Honestly, that's hard work. But yeah, you should be able to find me on here with you, Dan. As you rightly say, you do invite me a bit more. But I think Monday might be a good night for me, a bit through the summer. So yeah, on top.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And Eugene?
You can find me on Spurs Vision TV. I'm still trying to, do my season review for last season, but it's not that inspiring. So let it be. But let's see. I might come out with something. But I might be doing some watch-alongs for the Euro. Maybe you guys will, if you're free, hop on. But I'm going to do the weird ones, right? I'm not going to do the England one because England, everybody's going to do it, right? I'm planning to do the Poland and Holland one coming up soon, right? That could be fun because we can keep an eye on VDV and let's see whether he gets injured or not.
Eugene, man, just shut up, will you?
Just
shut the fuck up.
I'm so positive, Dan. Look at me.
You know what, mate? I'm just going to mute you there, mate, because you've just. It is what it is at the end of the day. Right, so everybody do sign up to Eugene. Dave will be coming on here a lot. You always see Maz about on Tottenham Away. Sign up to Stel. Sign up to Alex. Big up for Sava coming on. Always great to hear your opinion on everybody. I'm sorry if it has been a negative show for some, but bollocks. It is what it is. It is Spursy. Everybody, have a good day.
I'm gonna turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.